What's up, Slim? It's your man, Coach Steve, and I am in the Man Cave Sports Podcast. Drop that beat.
Drew on the keys on this shit now.
Yo, what it do? What it do? It's your boys in the Man Cave Sports Podcast. Hey, listen, we got a special guest, but before I get to the special guest, hey, man, we are back. I don't know what episode this is. We passed 100, so we lose track, you know what I'm saying? We passed 100, so that's dope. But we in the Man Cave Sports Podcast, hosted by your boy, Mike T. I am Mike T today. Well, actually, I might turn to Coach Drip at some point today, but I'm Mike T for right now, hosting this show. We got Jae Jones, we got Wildcard Ma, we got E-Proc the Hybrid. You know, we still got our special guest, King Mel, and somebody I just getting to know, talking to, texting, and now talking to him. Damn it, we know a lot of the same people. My main man, if you don't know him, he is lighting the DMV up with go-go, with sports, with everything he's doing with social media, positivity, everything he posts. He's funny. He's doing everything. It's like Coach Dripper's twin. When I saw him, I said, "Hey, man, it's cool." We got Coach Steve on the show. What's up, man?
Yes, sir.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Coach Steve?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Coach Steve.
Today we're gonna get into a whole
appreciate
bunch of stuff, man. We're gonna have to get into a whole bunch of stuff. We're gonna get into some NBA playoffs. We're gonna give a brief draft, like not recap, but grading system, and some other stuff we're gonna get into. But first, we're gonna get into Coach Steve. Coach Steve, man, where you from? Tell the people.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Tell the people where you're from. I'm done. Go ahead.
So I grew up in Gaithersburg, Montgomery County area. But I went to school I did elementary school in DC, and I did some high school in PG, and some of my middle school in Wheaton. So I've been kind of all over the DMV when it comes to my education and my personal experience in playing sports and being involved in basketball, football, and things like that, coaching. And I just always been a fan of sports and go-go. That's been my thing since man, I can't even remember. So that's pretty much where I'm from.
Well, we definitely got two go-go people on here. So
yes,
one that's current and one that's retired. So we definitely gonna get into some pause. Because my brethren keeps reminding me. We're gonna talk about your love for go-go as well.
okay.
But anybody jump in here, man. Well, anybody?
No,
He got me already.
No,
He got me already, man. Coach Steve. Anybody got any questions for Coach Steve? So we can get to know Coach Steve, man.
Man, what made you? Oh, go ahead, E-Proc.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah, I was just gonna say, when did you start coaching, and what made you jump into coaching? And what sports do you coach? I'm sorry.
So I coached basketball, football, and wrestling.
Okay.
I really got into coaching with my older son once he got to the age to play football and basketball and things like that. But I've always, helped out when I did play football in high school and then other times with camps and, different things like that. And I always knew I was just always good at explaining things and breaking them down and being able to, I felt like it was something I could lean into. And then again, I had another son who's 12 now. It just kind of flowed right from my older son. He graduated from Prince Orchard, and then just kind of flowed into my younger son, and it's just been rolling since then.
I got a question for Hybrid real quick. You hoop July 13th. You like go, and you hoop. I'm just saying, I got a spot for you.
Okay, so yeah, man. Look, we can definitely
take that, Sebo.
You got it messed up. This man getting ringers.
I just did that to get the clip.
you got to remember, I am 40 years old at this point, and these knees creak a little bit, but I can still do a little something every once in a while. I got that
Hey,
eagle eye pass. My era, we all wanted to be Jason Williams, Jason Kidd. You know what I'm saying? So I
white
can dish,
chocolate.
Hey,
I
What
hey,
can
number?
dish a little bit.
What
hey,
number
hey,
you with?
hey, hey, no worry, Coach Steve. I got the icy hot on deck, bro. I got it on deck.
What number
So
you? What number?
so I think this kind of ages me a little bit, but I've always been number 3 in basketball. I'm an Iverson guy. I've always been a huge Iverson guy, so
You know what,
I
Coach?
always wore number 3.
You know what, Coach Steve? Every
Y'all,
year,
y'all are brothers, man. Y'all
I
brothers
have,
of different
every
colors.
year I have number 3. This
Yeah, man. I'm a big AI guy. I'm a big
for
AI guy
you.
because in middle school I played for a team that was black and gold, and the question twos came out in that black and gold, and so we all
Mhm.
got them. So we were huge on the AI. Especially AI was running the world at that point.
Yeah.
He had the cover of Sports Illustrated with all the tattoos and everything. Man, AI was the coolest dude in the world at that point.
This
And
guy.
the ones and the twos was the best ones to me, like
Oh
period.
man,
My opposite straight.
with the
Yeah,
icy
Yeah.
icy bottom and the
with
blue
the
toe,
icy
man.
bottles. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Yeah.
Jay, could you take the hosting thing from me real
Hey,
quick? I'll be right
I
back.
get John, man. I'm with y'all. I mean, Iverson he ran the league at the time, like y'all said. So he definitely had the shoe game on lock. I don't think I've seen so many people rock Reebok, especially in this northeast region, like I did when them Iversons dropped.
Very
No
So
much.
doubt. No
yeah.
doubt.
So my question is, first off, who's your football team? Let people know.
Uh, so my NFL football team is the Washington Commanders. I got to stop myself every time because I'm an old school Washington fan, man. I grew up. I remember watching the
Redskins.
92 Super Bowl. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I was at the Holiday Inn. They had a little bar and pool at the Holiday Inn off Montgomery Village Avenue. We watched it there. I remember it vividly. So I'm a diehard Washington fan. Pretty much with all sports.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. And
Yeah.
so my follow-up question to that is why?
So the funny thing is this.
No, that's a
Listen,
joke.
listen.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
No,
'Cause
no,
I'm a
no, no. But let
Cowboys
me
fan.
explain. I do have an
Go
answer to this
ahead.
because I get it a lot. Everybody says you're from Maryland. You should be a Ravens fan. Well, you guys are probably, I don't know how old everybody is, but people
Yeah,
of my age, the Ravens didn't
Was no
exist till I was
Ravens.
in high
Yeah,
school. There was no Ravens.
yeah.
It was only
Right.
the Washington Redskins
Yeah.
or, or Dallas. And I wasn't gonna be no Dallas fan because my parents wouldn't let me live in the house. You know.
You just was talking to a Dallas fan, and another Dallas fan is currently he's not here tonight. So yeah.
Okay.
First off, watch your mouth. Play now.
Hey man, listen, I'm back, Jay. I take back the hosting. I'm going to switch the topic because we definitely
Nah, go
talk
ahead.
about the Cowboys.
No, that's
I
not
don't
not
know
my
if you can
question.
see them. I don't know. You can see the box.
Oh shit! You got the
You
I
can,
threes.
you can see the box, man. You can see. You can see.
Them the twos right there. Yeah, them twos right
Listen,
there.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy, where you been, man?
He's true to this. He's not new to it. He's true to it.
Where you
I
been,
see you.
Coach Steve? You my guy,
I
man.
see.
What the heck is going on,
Man, I
Yeah,
see you,
that's
man.
that's the resident Iverson fanatic right there. The
man?
top right.
Okay.
That's my guy, dog. Like Allen Iverson taught me how to be me. You
we're
know,
brothers.
like, he
We're
told me,
happy and we're singing and we're brothers.
So Coach Steve, did you have the cornrows too? Did you have the cornrows like
back
Iverson?
in back in the
Yeah.
day, no. I
Oh,
have done the
okay.
corn. I have done them, but I didn't grow my hair out until I was now. This is the longest I've
Oh,
ever had my
okay.
hair.
All
And the only
right.
reason I'm doing that is because once I cut it off, I'm not sure that it's gonna grow back. So I'm gonna hold out as long as I can, my last stand, and then let it go.
Hey, yo.
No,
But
that was a good question, Jay. That was a good question because I was
my
thinking
real
Coach
follow-up
Steve
question
was
is,
the
what
guy.
do you feel? My bad. Oh, my bad.
Nah, I was just gonna say I thought Coach Steve was the kid on the court that looked like Iverson at the game.
Oh, you talking about with the
Oh no,
Hold
but
on.
listen.
that was me.
Honestly, I guarantee you can find a picture of me around that age with a damn Iverson finger sleeve on. I had the one with the baggy basketball short. Yeah, man, I was that kid. 100%.
But my follow-up
I
question,
always that's the funny thing is that people see me now and they're like, oh, you just did. Man, literally the whole culture, hip hop culture, basketball has been me since I've been a little kid. Like it's crazy. Like I just always been that guy. Like I said, like that kid. I was out there dressed up. I didn't care what nobody thought.
That's what's up. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
My follow-up question: what did you feel about, since you were Alex fanatic? What did you feel about how Philly did him when he went to the Nuggets?
I think at that point in that relationship, it had become so strained. I put it on AI as much as I put it on him. At that point in the relationship between the two, everything is soured, I think, on both sides. And it was a situation where it didn't really matter how it ended. It was going to end. It was going to be seen as ugly by one side or the other. You know what I mean? Because they had been through so much at that point. They had backed him, then they had not backed him, and then the final. You know what I'm saying? So it just had gone so far that I think it was like a divorce that should have happened 5 years earlier. Not literally 5 years, but you know what I mean? Like a couple that should have divorced 5 years earlier. They just waited out too long.
Mm.
Good take. That's a good take.
Yeah.
I got you. I got
That's a true Iverson fan answer.
Yeah.
That's what we all feel like. It was both parties.
I was salty. I was salty as a bug back there because me saying Iverson in a Denver jersey was just filthy to me. But he just like still did his thing first couple seasons. So
But he was at that point also. I mean, you got to admit he was not the Iverson that he was.
nah, heck no.
He was declining. And to be honest with you, when he left Philly, it hurt me. It hurt my soul a little bit because I can honestly say I didn't watch much Iverson in Denver. It didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel right. He felt like it was like kind of like how you felt how people felt when Jordan went to Washington or any type of situation like that, where it's the end of their career and it's like they're there, but
It's not the same.
Now that's
you're not that same nostalgic feeling.
That's when I'm the evil twin. I loved it.
Yeah. Did you?
Man, what him, Mello, Kenyon Martin? That was the Thugs R Us.
Kenyon Martin, man, Kenyon Martin.
J.R. Smith, was J.R. Smith over there at the time?
Yeah, that was his
rookie bench.
Yeah.
Rookie year. That team was a fun team to watch. I remember that. Yeah. He made it to the All-Star team in the West too as well.
Well, so Coach Steve, man, let me ask you this, man. What are some of the hardest things about coaching, especially when you're coaching the youth? What are some of the, I guess, hurdles and challenges that you got to face that makes it difficult to coach, man?
Parents. No.
Nah,
Hey, we keep it real here. It's cool. You can be honest.
So, and this is a difficult take, but this is the take that I have. So I haven't been the head coach of any football teams out in Martinsburg yet, but I was the head coach of my basketball team. And I have two rules. Parents can come to practice, but they need to leave our practice. I don't keep parents in the practice. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a certain way that you do things when you're coaching, certain way that you encourage, that you talk, that might not sound great to a mom that hasn't experienced these type of things, but so no parents there, so they can't get involved. Second rule I have is I don't speak to any parents, no matter how the game went, win, loss, or otherwise, till 24 hours after the game. So everybody is no longer emotional. The win or the loss, the high, the low, whatever it is going away, and we can, with a level head, talk about it. The other hurdle is, Martinsburg is a very depressed area. It's a lot of, no other way to say it's a lot of poor people, and a lot of kids that have just a rough time. You know what I mean? Like whether it comes to eating every day or having both parents or any parents or whatever. So when they first get to practice, you got to really take a second. And this is something that I always say. I always try to tell every kid that I come in contact with on a day, I tell them, I love you. I love you, man. You're doing great. I love you, because that might be the only time that they get to hear it that day, because you don't know what they go home to and everything. So the biggest hurdle I think with coaching, especially in an area like where I coach, is you got to break down that barrier that they first walk in with, because school is hard, home life is hard, and whatever, you know what I mean? And the biggest thing is not losing sight of why we're out there, and I think I love winning and I want to win, man. I tell you what, you see me out on the sideline, people see me jumping up and down. I'm like, I'm old school, I was gonna say Bobby Knight, I don't throw chairs or anything, but I'm in it. I'm in it.
Man, cheers to that, man. Like that what you said that you do every day for your kids, man. Cheers to that, man. Like for real, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
it's needed because it's an outlet for kids, man. And like you said, that's definitely needed, and that may just be enough just to keep them focused. And that was my next question. Just like, what do you do to keep the kids focused on just, you know what I'm saying, make sure they stay out of trouble and just focus on school and sports?
Well, so the main thing that I think that I do that helps with that, and you can only do what you can and be there when you can, but I make myself available at all times. You know what I mean? Kids know that they can call me. They can call Coach Steve. If Coach Steve is around and they have any type of trouble, whether it's with parents, teachers, police, good, bad, or otherwise, come and get Coach Steve. And I always look at it like, I didn't get a lot of what I needed, right? And what I needed at the time was I needed somebody that could relate to the world that I was growing up to. See, we forget a lot that the world that we're in right now that they're growing up in is so different from the world that we grew up in. So, we take these things that our parents taught us and things that we were told and try to apply them sometimes to these kids, but they're not living in the same world. You can't just talk to a kid, at a kid. You got to get down and try to get on their level and understand the pressures that they have of, you know, constant social media. You know what I mean? Like they just have different pressures than us. And you got to have one thing is you got to have an open mind. And you got to try to understand it from their perspective. And I think
Right.
that's huge.
Mm.
I think
Yeah.
that's huge.
Because I'm raising a 15 going on 16-year-old teenage daughter. Trust and believe. You are 100% right. You cannot do how we were raised because, you know what I mean? It's not the same world. Damn.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
Preach.
uniquely I was blessed in a way that I do have a son that's 23 now. So I was able to do it. So my son is 20, my oldest son is 23 and my middle son is 12. So I had a whole, time to
That
see how this
decade.
goes and mature in my coaching because I've definitely matured over the years in my coaching. I'm a different coach today than I was 10 years ago, bar none. Like, so
Okay. So what age group of kids do you coach? And so how long have you been coaching? Because you just said 10 years. So what age group of kids do you coach and the time span that you coach?
I have coached but all age groups from the first when they walk in, flag, T-ball, all the way up to 8th grade. And now I had an opportunity to coach JV to coach JV at Wooten High School, but for whatever reasons happened, it didn't pan out. It was a whole situation, but I have actually coached all the way up to 8th grade. Yeah.
Okay.
So, he like
Yeah.
Garrett. So now he's Gary's twin.
Yeah.
One of our other cast members, he coached like from every level. So that's dope. With
Well,
y'all.
see, like one season, it's because a lot of these football programs they don't have quality. I don't want to say quality. They don't have coaches. Period.
Right.
So like it was one year I was coaching the ponies, the ankle biters, and the 8th graders. You know what I mean? Like it's just but you got to be there. Like I said, I when it's football season, when it's back, whatever season I'm in, I'm in there for you at practice, at games, outside, otherwise. Even when during the season when we have off days, man, I'm at the field with whoever wants to show up, all the way up to high school kids, just with the ladders and the hurdles and just doing work. You know what I mean?
I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Coach Steve, man, what is probably the most satisfying feeling that you get from coaching, man, that kind of gives you that joy of why you do it?
For me personally, and I don't know, man, this might sound selfish, but I like being able to be depended on. Like I like when I can see a kid look at me and there's a sense of security in his eyes or his or her eyes where they know if something goes wrong or something is needed or whatever. Um, um, that I'm that guy, you know what I mean? And I like that makes me feel good. And it also makes me feel good, to see them be successful. You know what I mean? At whatever they're doing. And I always tell that to the kids. I'm like, whether we're playing football, basketball, whatever, I encourage them to do everything that they enjoy to do. You know what I mean? Whether it be drawing, reading, whatever. I'm like, everything don't have to be football. You know what I mean? Or basketball or wrestling, whatever it is you do. You know what I mean? You know, because I always have this saying that I say, right? And this is gonna sound funny, but just you'll understand when I say it, right? So what if I was born to be the greatest makeup artist of all time? But because of the way my environment was out, me pick up a makeup brush, like you know what I mean? So the point to that is like, what if you're supposed to be the best artist, the best whatever, but you don't because of stigmas or this or that or whatever, what other people gonna think, you don't even pick up that paintbrush, you know? So I try to, but just seeing them be successful.
Okay.
Use the tools that you give them, you know?
I love it. I love it, man. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. You love go-go.
I do.
Where did that come from?
So
Briefly about it off air, but
I have an older brother who would be, he passed away, but he would be 57 right now. And he was big into go-go. But I'm talking about, the first tape he gave me was the Hucklebucks. So I'm talking about like real early 90s, he was playing it. His friends were around there playing it, so I'd hear it, you know. And then going to school in the district, I started going there in like third grade. I went to school in the district for like a couple years. Just being around it and hearing it. And I'll be honest with you, I've always been enamored with the DC culture, like the fashion, the Georgetown, the music, the this, that. And I'm also extremely proud of where I'm from, which I always tell people I'm from Gaithersburg, but so they say the DMV now, but before the DMV, they just called it the DC Metro. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm fine. We can call it the DC. I don't care what we call it. That's the area that I'm from. So, I love anything coming out of our area: football, music, fashion, rappers, singers, whatever. I just take a lot of pride in that. So, it being a DC thing, DC. I know it trickles out to Maryland, Virginia, but it's a DC thing. Our area. I take a lot of pride in how good it is, and But the love just came from being around it and hearing it, and just it speaks to me. Like I tell them, when I'm somewhere and I hear go-go beat somebody that catches my ear, I can't help it. It just perks me up,
got you. Hey.
Same thing for us. Same thing for us. I mean, we
And
just,
I don't know, in Montgomery County, coming up in high school, man, everybody wanted to be in a go-go band. We talked about it briefly before. I named a couple local go-go bands from Wheaton High School in the Silver Spring area. Coach Drip knew about them. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wanted to be in a go-go band. There was 900 go-go bands at Gatesburg High School. People that didn't even play instruments were trying to make a go-go band. It was crazy. But so it was in the early 2000s, late 90s. Go-go in Montgomery County was huge.
I can tip my hat a little bit, but I'm not even gonna get on that because that's another story. We all know, but yeah, when he mentioned Blackout to me, it bad. I'm gonna give him some props because that's not half, but part of Blackout became New Vision. So when he mentioned Blackout, I was like, damn, that's dope, because they pretty much had like the Wheaton, Southern Maryland part of area on lock.
Yeah.
Like they had
the Caribbean Lounge. They went out, rent out the Wheaton Rec
the
every
Caribbean
Friday.
Lounge.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But tip the hat again. Tip the hat again.
Come on, T.I., man. Put your hat on.
When they was doing their thing, you know what I'm saying? I was like,
hey, chill out, bro. Chill out. Chill out.
Expeditiously.
Yeah.
Hey,
Feeling bad, members.
Hey.
No. So, all right, briefly. My band was High Gravity. We was like the go-go NWA. Because like he just said, everybody in Mo County wanted to be in the band. We had all the popular people from every school. Nobody in our band went to the same school. So if you put 12 Bamas in 12 different schools that are the popular dudes in the schools, wherever we played in Montgomery County, like we were the first ones to ever play in a Montgomery County school. Ever. I did that twice. I did it at Blair and I did it at Blake. So yeah, so at the end of the day, like Blackout, they was cool, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, yeah. Anybody got any more questions?
Hey, don't flex too hard. Come on, Drip. Don't flex.
They know. They already know.
Don't flex too hard, baby.
They know.
Let me ask you this, Coach. How far you want to take it, man? How far you want to take coaching? Do you vision yourself getting to the professional level, college level someday? How far you wanting to take it?
No, I don't envision myself there. Honestly, it's for me, it's the kids.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So one thing that I'll say about myself is I'm a football coach, but I'm not. How can I put this? So one of the biggest things that there's two big things that I do lean on when I coach, right? Skills and drills. Like I want everybody to have the skills because that's the skills to achieve at the next level. That's footwork, hands, whatever. When it comes to all the workout stuff, I'm a workout fiend, man. I'm in the gym all the time. So that's the biggest thing. And then the second thing is accountability and mentoring. I look at myself as a mentor that knows football.
Okay.
So and then I want to continue and take it to more levels maybe for the kids, but I don't necessarily mean I want to go to the next level with like my career coaching. Like I'm good with what I'm doing. I don't want to make it a career, but if I could continue to up the mentorship and programs and things like that in my area and other areas that I could influence, that would be a goal that I do like to move forward with.
Okay. I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't mind going to, probably high school level, maybe college level?
No doubt, but I guess I would say never like a head. I don't want to be a head football coach
Got you.
at anywhere really. I love working with the kids and stuff, but I don't know. And then again, I don't know. Whatever comes. I'm kind of that kind of guy where I roll with it. I kind of judge as it comes and try to make the best decision I can on with what's in front of me. So if you try too much to live in the future or the past, you know what I mean. You don't get to enjoy the present. I'm a big believer in that.
Facts.
I was about to say, because if Coach Prime comes you up right now,
Hey,
Shoot, Coach Prime hit me up. I'll be like everybody and their mother at the beginning of the season last year when they beat TCU. Man, it was Bama's at the gym, head to toe in Colorado State the next day. It was crazy. I'm like, bro, I ain't seen you in that man Colorado State stitch of clothing ever, and you show up head to toe.
black and gold everywhere. Yeah. Now I'm with you. Now the reason why I say that is because I'm a type of person that when I interact with people, I get a vibe, and I get a vibe from you that people they're drawn to you. I'm not going front. Like Coach Steve, like right now, you the type of guy I'm like, yo, I can mess with dude because it's that positive vibe and energy that you got flowing. So I'm like, man, keep your door open. I think somebody might call you and say, hey man, I want you to lead my program because you got that energy that could you make people believe.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But
you know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. I've been able to be real successful when it comes to the youth, but I feel like that energy that I do put out is almost tailor made for youth. And I don't mean that I couldn't take it to another level, but I always tell people you got to lean into your abilities. You know what I mean? So you guys know, especially around the football, right? Guys come in and they're linemen. And they want to be running backs. They all want the ball. But I always try to preach, man, lean into your thing. Lean into what is your thing right now, and opportunities will come. You know what I mean? So I guess it's kind of like that. I put all my eggs in the youth basket right now. Other opportunities might come, but I try to be the best at what I'm expected of right then and now. And then, have you ever heard the saying that a master of one thing can be a master of anything?
Yeah.
Because once you've learned how to master one thing, you know what it takes to master the next thing.
For sure.
So that's what I mean. Why I try to stay, really focused on what I'm doing, and as the opportunities come, we can shift and go from there. But that's kind of how I feel about that.
I dig it.
Coach Steve, now what's your thoughts on for those that want to or thinking about being a coach? What advice would you give them for wanting to be a coach?
You got to keep in mind that you don't know everything. Any sport, it's like life itself. It's always evolving. It's always changing. And that's when you get coaches that are in the league, like let's say Bill Belichick, right? In my opinion, it's an offensive league. Defensive head coaches are not successful ones. You know what I mean? And Coach Belichick didn't. You either evolve or you become extinct. You know what I mean? That kind of coach becomes extinct. So that's kind of, what I would tell them is make sure you have the mindset of this is not an in stone thing. Like this is a continuing to grow thing. You know what I mean? You got to grow with the players, kids, adults, whatever. You got to grow with them or you get left behind.
That's a fact.
Okay. And what sports you said you got a 12-year-old? What sports does your 12-year-old play?
So his main sport is football, but he's also a wrestler and he plays basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
We're
must
pretty much sports year round.
get put in
That's
a
what's up.
get put in a chokehold. I don't mess with that.
Hey
Now,
man, I tell every football player that I can, you need to wrestle in the offseason. Now, DBs, running backs, wide receivers. Well, let's take running backs out of there because I think running backs should wrestle. DBs and wide receivers, they can go run track. Wrestling gives football players so much to their game with their foot placement, their weight distribution, their this, just all the different things. I don't know. You guys ever heard of Marquez Cooper? He was a running back for Quince Orchard a couple years ago. He's at San Diego State now. He led the SMAC a couple years. Anyway, this kid is a phenomenal wrestler. And you could see it when he ran the ball, the way he was able to shrug off, turn, move, roll. And man, I think he still owns the Montgomery County rushing record. If I'm not mistaken, he has like 2,500 yards one
I
season,
think the
something
kid
like that.
G-Berg broke it this year.
Did he? Okay, yeah.
I think so.
Wait, hold on.
But
Wait,
wrestling is
hold on. 20, did you say 2,500?
Yeah.
Lord,
They run out here, Mom. They
Why?
run.
2,500?
Run for it, run for it, run.
2,500, boy, you running. Oh,
I
Lord.
think it was 2,552 touchdowns,
Jesus.
something like that.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think he got him on touchdowns, but yards, yeah.
That's disrespectful numbers.
That's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Ooh.
Oh, man. Now, it's funny you bring that up, Coach. I would have never thought that wrestling would help a football player. Well, I never wrestled because I love to eat, so I can't do all that cutting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love to eat, dog, for real. I didn't get this big eating salads. Nah.
Yeah.
I love to eat.
But you know what? Especially with like offensive linemen, because that's kind of I played offensive defensive line, so that's kind of my main focus.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're wrestling, the way you got to use your hands. I mean, if you've ever played offensive line, hands are huge, right?
Mhm.
And when they say go, the first thing you start working on is your hands placement on that person, to get leverage right away. So it's kind of like I always look at wrestling almost as offensive line work with no pads on. I mean, until they go to the ground,
That's dope. That a lot of with the youth coaches, some of the coaches that we've interviewed, they were offensive linemen as well. Coach Matt, Coach Nassau.
Yeah.
So it's dope that offensive linemen are actually getting into coaches because most of the coaches I've ever had probably played skill position. So
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
A lot of linebackers and quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Definitely quarterback.
Yeah. Actually, I think about it. Yeah.
Coach Kelly was a middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Well, Newbauser from Northwest, he was an offensive lineman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, respect to the guys in the trenches, because what I respect about what they do in football is just because they don't get all the the top 10, the glory top plays. But man, if you ain't got no O-line or D-line, it's a long day for you, pimp. It's important, man. Trenches are important.
One of the things that I pitch to the kids too, and it's hard for them to understand at this age, right, is that no, you as offensive lineman, you don't get all the accolades. You're not going to get the commercials and whatnot, but you will get is paid. You will get paid. You will get paid, and you will have a long career because you're not taking these high speed in the open field, slamming in the head type of hits.
Yep.
So when you look at it like that, I mean, Trent Williams has gotten super paid. I mean, he's had longevity. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not a bad position.
Yeah, and he's turned a lot of his money into other investments that he got investments that can go way beyond his football career.
Well, see, Trent Williams is a smart guy. He's one of my favorite players, all-time favorite players. Like, I love Trent Williams.
Doubt. I love Trent.
And I don't blame him for going to the 49ers. Like, there was no love lost when he went. Man, I know what the Washington organization is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with it. I get it. I get it. I've been live at this shit show for 40 years, man.
Hey, Coach, have faith. They under new management. Have faith. Have faith.
Hey, yes, have faith.
So, Steve, I just said exactly what you said last week, and I ain't even a Redskin fan. So, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. If we on the opposite sides of the fence, then we both agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that franchise is I don't care if it's new management. It was new management, but Freaky Dan got it.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
bro. Like Jack can cook. Like,
Yeah, it was new. Jack Kent Cook, the only winner we had, owner.
Them freaking girls.
Freaky Dan came in there and that joint made that joint a peep show.
No, man. That dude.
Crazy, man. Crazy Freaky
Yeah.
Dan. He did. They messing with all these people, but Dan knows some stuff. That's why they left him alone.
Yeah, he left him alone
they
quick.
left
You
him
ain't
saying,
heard. He
Yep,
got up
you
out of
see
there.
it.
You ain't say nothing. You ain't heard his name since. He got up out of there
They
smooth.
definitely threatened him too. Like, hey, brother,
Nah, you
go ahead and
they
say
both
something if you
threatened
want
each other.
to.
You heard the letter. He basically said, "You keep your mouth shut. I keep my mouth shut. Give me that money, and I'm gonna head out on out of here." Right?
Pretty much.
That's what happened. He was like, "Yeah, let's just act like this didn't happen." You know what I mean?
Jerry whispered. He saw Jerry one last time. Jerry whispered, said, "Hey,
Yeah.
you better
Are you
not
sure?
say a damn thing.
Yes.
I know all of your addresses, and mysteriously they can just disappear."
Hey man, they was like, hey, let's just all get up from the table and walk back out slowly. We all be
Yeah.
Easy, buddy.
Exactly.
Easy.
a Mexican
Anybody got-
standoff.
Huh?
A Mexican standoff.
Yeah. Right.
Anybody else got any more questions for Coach Steve?
Yeah, have you ever coached in any championship games?
Yes, sir. So right when I came up to Martinsburg, man, I took over. I was the assistant coach on the football team. I think it was 8, 9-year-olds. We won that championship undefeated. And then I was the sole lone basketball coach for my team, and we went undefeated and ran through that league. But only at the youth level.
Hey, it's still a championship, coach. Still a championship.
I walk around town. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, every time when coaches argue with me at football, I do every once in a while. I say, I am the last undefeated championship coach for this organization. I just want to make sure we remember that. Right?
Well, speaking of this, just off the cuff, man, what do you feel about participation trophies, man? Because I know we in a different type of generation. You know, we weren't so big on participation trophies when we was growing up. So, what do you feel about that, man?
Hand me my trophy. I'm not into it.
Okay.
I'm not into it. At the end of the year, if we get, if everybody I'm kind of okay with the medals. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of okay, like with at the end of the year, if like you get a medal or you get a plaque or something like that. I mean, just because they're gonna do it regardless. I'm not gonna. If you try to nitpick too hard, But my biggest thing when it comes to sports is accountability, right? And to give you a trophy for not, especially if it's a situation where I hate to say it, where you didn't do what you should have done all year and then you didn't win. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that shows very good accountability going forward.
Okay.
So I'm not a fan of it. I feel like it's something we can't really fight
Yeah.
because it's coming. You know what I mean? Again, parents too involved, in my opinion. Because in my opinion, there should be a separation. You know what I mean? Like we're out here to coach football. Especially when it comes to no offense. I love the ladies. I love all the moms. They're great. They take care of us. All that stuff. But if you didn't play football and you don't understand how football is talked on a field, like or on a basketball court or something like that, you know what I mean? And the problem is too is a lot of these homes, they don't have male figures in it, so they're not used to males talking to other males in a accountability way. You know what I mean? Like saying, "Hey, no, that's not okay." What do you mean? I had a kid tell me, we were a month into the season. He's out on the field in a scrimmage, and he messed up. He turned and looked at me. He said, "I don't know the play." I said, "Well, that's unacceptable. You've been here for a month. How do you not know? We only had 3 plays. How do you not know the play? It's not okay. It's not okay that you don't know the play at this point. You know what I mean? It's just like if they were in school halfway through the year, if you don't know how to add and subtract, that's not okay. That means you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And you got to hold kids accountable to do what they're supposed to do, or they won't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were kids, if we had it our way, we'd be playing video games all night and eating junk food away. There's a reason why we're parents and adults, because we do know better. We've experienced more. You know what I mean? So,
Facts.
Man. Hey, man.
All right.
Hey, man. Hey, Coach Steve, whenever you want a own podcast, talk to Mike, man. We go ahead and get you the Coach Steve podcast going.
I love it, man. I tell you, I've always been able to talk, and I can talk in any room, like to any demographic of people, any whatever. You know what I mean? When you're authentic, when you just be yourself, and you don't really care what people think about You know what I mean? People, the ones that aren't that way, they don't like you and they're gonna hate you and they're gonna tell you say this and that. And they're gonna leave you nasty comments and everything. But the other authentic people, the other real people, they're gonna gravitate to it.
All right. Well,
Real
since you said
recognize real.
since you said something about authenticity, right? Sidebar question. You know what I'm saying? Not that serious. I just need to know who wins in the race, Flash or
Say
Superman?
again?
I said, who wins in the race, Flash or Superman?
I gotta say Superman, only
Right, yeah.
only because he's top tier at everything. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know, I guess I gotta say Superman by default just because he's the top dog.
Okay. And on that note, we are going to switch gears and we're going to get to some quick NBA talk with Coach Steve as well and the rest of the guys. Briefly, what do you guys, I mean, who's been catching up with the playoffs? I'm going to go with King Mel first, so you can go ahead and get your ish off.
Here we go. He was waiting. He was waiting.
Yeah, Mr. Celtics guy. Yeah.
Hey, Coach Jerp, how you doing? What's your question
Oh
again?
man, that is personalized.
Everything, man.
I said, what have you been impressed with, or what have you liked or disliked about the playoffs so far?
I like the Miami Heat. I even like them better in Cancun. But right now I'm really impressed with the Magics. They lasted longer than I expected them to last. Hopefully they win the series. Better for my Celtics. And as expected, Clippers looking like the Clippers. One day they look like NBA Finals team. Next day they just look like the YMCA.
Okay. Wildcard ball. What year was the last time the Celtics won the finals? Wasn't that like
might have been 08?
08?
08?
He spoke just like a typical 08.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hey, Wildcard Mom. He ain't the last time the Miami Heat won the championship without D Wade with.
Ooh.
Bubble year.
What does that have to do with anything? That was a swing and miss.
We just asking questions around here, right?
Y'all franchise been a franchise for 97 years. My franchise has been around for 35, and we got 3 blacks.
Yeah, I got 3.
Yeah, we've been there more than y'all in the last 20 years. You gotta relax, youngin. Jae Jones.
Man, Mel, how can y'all not like what my man Ant Edwards is doing, man?
Ant-Man.
Ant is cooking, man. And the fact that he was talking trash to KD, somebody who he idolized, who he grew up watching, it just not just he didn't send them packing, he swept them on up out of here. Which was definitely a little surprising for me. I thought that Phoenix would at least get 2, but they got him up out of there quick. But that was impressive. Phoenix is in a lot of trouble because they got to keep that roster, and I don't think they have any first-round picks for the next 5 years, which is crazy. Bradley Beal, you know you got to play better than that. I ain't got to say that, man. You fouled out 9 points, 4 for 13, got to play better. The Magic, like Mel said, I was watching that series because I thought it was a real a lot of pressure on Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell and those guys, they traded a lot for him. They got to get out the first round this year. Kyrie, man, my man Kyrie keeps showing why he's Kyrie. And I just didn't like all the injuries this year in the playoffs. There was a lot of injuries that played a factor in a lot of series. And I can't forget my man Shaq Glizzy, Shaq Gilgeous-Alexander, and those guys over there in Oklahoma City, man. Those guys are balling too. So it's been dope, man. I'm looking forward to the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. Should be a great series, man. But outside of that, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say real quick to the Phoenix Suns and the Washington Wizards. They're the first 2 teams ever to both lose the trade.
Hey, is that not Washington though? Is that not every game Washington?
Yo.
Hey, Wildcard Mars, jump in here, pause.
Nah, man. I mean, it's dope to see some of the young stars that are up and rising doing their thing, like everybody said, Ant-Man, SGA, doing their thing. But man, I'm gonna go in the opposite direction, man. Indiana Pacers, man, they you know, I know they were taking on a Bucks team that's you know, got some injuries to some key people, but still give them their credit. Win that series 4-2, and they handled business, and you know, almost like Indiana's kind of like the birthplace of USA basketball. So, you know, they showing that they still can put a quality playoff team together, and they move on to the next round. So hey, hats off to the, you know, Buddy Hield, Pascal Siakam, you know, Halliburton, and your boy Miles Turner. So that, you know, they doing their thing.
Buddy Hield?
Buddy Hield in Philly.
Yeah, Buddy Hield in Philly. Oh, my bad. I'm tripping. Well, he helped Indiana. I mean, he whatever they
halfway.
Yeah. So he get half some credit.
50%.
50%. So yeah. Nah, man. Shout out to Indiana, man. They doing their thing, man.
Hybrid.
All right, so I'm gonna tell y'all who's impressed me the most. The Knicks. Because James Dolan is their owner. And they're doing some good stuff right now. They got, you know, Philly kind of like, you know, on the ropes, but the series is going anyway. But I'm impressed even though because Julius Randle is not there. You know what I mean? And he's a big part of everything they do, along with Brunson, you know what I mean? And Brunson's still doing this thing as well, you know what I mean? Brunson. But my biggest surprise is literally the Nuggets not beating the shizness out of the Lakers. And I'm surprised we won the game. I mean, that's the biggest surprise. Because we should have got swept how we played. But yeah, but other than that, everything else is going like kind of how I thought it would. You know what I mean? Especially when it's like with the Thunder. And no, to push back on Jae Jones's Phoenix Suns topic, I don't think the Suns should break that team up. I actually think they're just a product of it being the first year. I think after a season, I think we should judge them after the next season, put it like that. This is the first year they're together. You know what I mean? It's not really continuity. Bradley Beal was not a true point guard. So, you know what I mean? Maybe they make a trade, you know what I mean, and get a real point guard in there or something like that. Because, I mean, KD
ain't got nobody to trade.
They don't got nobody.
That's the problem.
Everybody there got the bag.
Hey, bro, they got $66 million between the three of them. They ain't got nothing to move.
And Bradley he ain't got a trade clause. I mean, you gonna have to move KD or Devin, and they already said they ain't moving Devin.
Well, and they got to make it work. You know what I mean?
KD gets the grace of every time he lose. Oh man, you got to give it some time. Every time that man lose,
but you know what? That's one of the biggest things that I think is missing in the NBA right now. It's the continuity that the players used to have. I mean, you think about back in our day, man, the Utah Jazz, that team was together for how long? Karl Malone and them, you know what I mean? You think about New York with Starks, and like there was continuity in all the teams. Now you don't have any continuity. And I love seeing the young players come up, but I think the bag has become so much the focus in the NBA that you can't get any continuity going. I mean, you got to have chemistry. You got to have chemistry, and, you know, and that's the other thing about it is they blow the bag on these huge big name players. You know, look at the Bulls from the 90s. You talking about Steve Kerr was on the bench. You know what I mean? BJ Armstrong was on the bench. They had real live bench players. You know what I mean? They didn't put all their money into three players and then have such a fault. You know what I mean?
Hey,
that's kind of.
And
when you make
there's no vets anymore.
And that's you took the words out of my mouth. Drip,
like real vets. Like all of these mammals, like they in their 12th year, they 22.
The last real vet we saw, the last real vet we saw retired last year from your team, bro.
It's like, damn. It's like, I just seen somebody, it was like Zion is 26. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nah, Zion, I think he's like 24, maybe 25.
Either way, still, I thought he was
been
like
in
32.
But he been in the league like 6 years now.
Yeah, it's like.
But think about it, Drip though. How old are you, Udonis Haslem?
He was like 40 by the time he
retired last season, right?
Yeah, but he went to college. I believe he went 4 years to college.
No, I'm just saying he's like really the last vet on a team. Like there is no other teams like that where it's like
Oh
that.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So like I said to your point, like you're 100% right. Like there's nobody say, hey, stop that, bro. Like chill out. Like
Stop spending all your money.
you know
Stop
what I'm saying?
Watch your body. You know what I'm saying? Stuff
But
like
you know, I think one of the biggest contributors to that is the AAU system, the contribution of just trying to put together the best team. You know what I mean? Not worrying about continuity, role players, things like that that a lot of teams don't have nowadays. And that when it comes down to it, you don't have role players, you don't have continuity, you don't have that mesh with your team. When you get in the shit of it, game 4 of when you really got to get down and nitty gritty, it's not there,
Big
that.
fact.
That is one and dones.
Yeah.
One and
Yeah.
dones did that too. One and dones.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, one and dones definitely did that. That's like we were talking about college basketball recently, and everybody was talking about how much the women's game is so much better. Well, Caitlin Clark was there for 4 years. Angel Reese was there for 3 years.
But to that point, Coach, what I would say is this: is I one wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying, but when I look at it from a player's perspective, you look at the kid from Louisville a couple years ago in the tournament that snapped his leg in half. You know what I mean? Like when that money's on the table, and these colleges are making millions of dollars off your name and likeness. I mean, I know it's a little bit different now with the NIL, but a couple years ago, they're making all this money, millions and millions of dollars off you. When that bag is on the table, you got to take it because you never know. You never know. You know what I mean? Your leg is snapping half the next day.
Just one thing you said wrong though, Coach D.
What's that?
The millions, billions.
Well,
They make it big.
100%. But you get what I'm saying. It's
about
like
10 years, they about to be getting billions.
they got their bag. And the thing is they'll put a bag on the table, but if the slightest thing goes not your way, they'll snatch that bag right off the table. So you got to take it while you can. So when people talk about the NIL and they talk about all this stuff, is I can't knock the players because I know players that beat their bodies up for 4 years through college and didn't make it in the NFL and now can't. The hips are messed up, the knees are messed up, feet are messed up. You know what I mean? So working an everyday job is difficult. It's just you got to. I can't knock somebody taking it when they got it, when it's there to take.
Oh, I'm 100% for the players getting the bread.
Oh, yeah.
But for the quality of the game, I think it does affect the quality of the game.
To catch 22.
Always have to sacrifice when the players get something.
Yeah.
It's never when the organizations, like the NBA doesn't sacrifice anything when they add more games, or the NFL doesn't sacrifice anything when they add. Now they're going to 18 games or something like that. The players sacrifice.
Yeah.
So I'm with it. I never was against one and dones, but I think and NIL either. But we've talked about it a couple times on this show about NIL. It has to be a better system so it can be balanced, and all these kids are just leaving. It's 3,500 kids in the transfer portal right now.
But you know what it did? It just exposed college football for what it is.
It did.
You know what I mean? Like this is not new. I feel like it has actually leveled the playing field for a lot of people. I mean, you got guys that can go now. You got schools that are like like Shepherd University, for example. You know what I mean? You got guys like the Bajan kid that went to the Bears. Now he could have left and gone to West Virginia or a bigger school like that. But the fact that the NIL kicked in, he was able to get some deals in the area with car dealerships and stuff like that. A program like that was able to keep a kid like that, where he could have gone to a Division I school and sat 3 quarterbacks behind and never saw the field. You know what I mean? So I feel like it kind of levels it that way. But
but we will never see another dynasty.
No, and that's why Nick Saban retired. That time is over. That time is over.
Never see another dynasty in college football. Never.
I think honestly, sooner than later, there's going to be a break between the NCAA and college football. I mean, I think it's just inevitable. It's inevitable. You know what I mean? Like we're kidding ourselves to say that these institutions of higher learning have anything to do with these football programs. Right. I mean, I'm not going to say these kids don't go to school there, but the guys, Ohio State, man, come on, man. Like, really think that
No, I'm gonna switch it up so we can talk about that a little bit because we don't have a lot pretty much on our docket this week. So with that, I was reading about what they may do with the super conferences. It's going to be, I think, 6 or 8, and they're going to put like 20 teams in each conference. So to what you're talking about, and that's when they're talking about breaking away from the NCAA. Even with the video game, the signs are there that they might be breaking away from the NCAA because the game is not called NCAA. The game is called EA Sports College Football. So,
but the worry with that is, though, in my opinion, if I'm looking at it from the NCAA perspective or the school's perspective, is if you break away from the NCAA, you don't necessarily, like, say they're no longer the Ohio State Buckeyes, they're just the Buckeyes, right? It becomes a different entity. Like, do you lose that Ohio fan base? Do you lose that, like, do they go, like, the Ohio State alumni and everything like that? Do you lose from that, would you say?
I don't think you do.
No?
I think colleges.
I don't think so.
I think colleges are. I think HBCUs actually proved that.
Okay.
Because HBCUs technically aren't like D1, even though now it's called D1, but it's called subdivision, championship division. But they have shown that you can be on your own and be your own entity and strive without the support of the NCAA as much.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
well, I actually mean like a break from the school, like the actual learning institution. That's what I mean.
No, yeah, that's
I mean, like,
that's totally gonna
this,
kill college football.
I don't think it'll kill college football. It'll just change. It won't be college football anymore. It'll be amateur football, or I don't even know what they call it.
If
you know what I mean?
If you can't go to the University of Michigan, it's gonna kill it. If you just saying I'm a Wolverines fan, that's gonna kill it. That's not gonna work. If you just say I'm a Hurricanes fan, I'm not a because you gotta take into account if they do that, the base that's gonna be against it is gonna be the alum.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
And that's where the money.
That's where the money's coming from.
And that's where the money comes from. So if they
the money's for I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. That's where the money's coming from for individual schools. But the teams as a whole, like, say if the teams took these super conferences and made an amateur league and just didn't have college football and got the ad revenue and all the stuff, like, it'd be as big as the NFL. You know what I mean? And then you cut the schools all the way out of it.
They will.
I mean,
they would attempt to murder Alabama's athletic director on national TV if they did that.
I was about to say that, Coach Steve, you wanted something, but I know for a fact ADs and chancellors will shoot that down in a heartbeat.
Yeah, they would.
They
were like, no,
them schools wouldn't be able to survive.
You're not gonna cut me out of the money. We want a piece of pie still too.
No, and I'm just talking about the fan base. Like, if you're talking about like a place like Alabama, if it's not about that college, because see, a lot of these colleges, some colleges it probably could work for because their fan base ain't as diehard. But if you're talking about like an Alabama, Ole Miss, pretty much anybody in the SEC, if you talk
the whole
that,
SEC,
you're gonna get so much. You might get death threats, or attempts. Like if you take a football team and make it Alabama, not university, they can't say Alabama Blitz.
Hey, what the dude say after he poisoned the trees? He said, "I poisoned the trees. Roll damn tide.
Roll damn tide.
Roll damn tide."
If they can't say that, man, listen. Auburn,
well, it's because they don't have really any football in the South besides high school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or the South, I guess the Southeast.
Exactly. I think if they do the super conferences, and anybody else can jump in here, pause after I say. But I think if they do the super conferences, it can work without the NCAA. I just think that it's going to take a long time to get it running because
so that's the thing. What is the NCAA? What is their purpose now?
We don't know.
It's just
you know what I mean?
They're a governing body.
No, I get that, but the governing body, they've been used for so long as the disciplinary arm for these schools. I mean, to make sure they're not doing illegal things when everything we hear is about, money and whatever else going on. Like, what at this point with the NIL, what is the purpose of it?
Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing.
Me personally, I despise the NCAA.
Me
I
too.
think they're hypocritical. I think they've been used they've made so much money off the backs of all kind of young men for years, young men and women for years and years and years,
For
and
sure.
ate off them.
For sure. For sure.
Do things like take the Heisman from Reggie Bush. I know they gave it back, but things like that, man. I'm a hugely against the NCAA.
Yeah. I just think like so for me, when I see things like Kirby Smart getting $13 million a year as a coach, but yet it's you see coaches with the ability to maneuver for whatever gain that they can for in the college ranks, but all of a sudden now in the last couple of years it's a big problem with the name and image and likeness for the kid.
Well, fellas, let's address the elephant in the room. It's the difference between, in my opinion, it's black kids and white coaches. I mean, just keeping it real. That's what it is.
Well,
Why give them the upward mobility? We need
What?
to, I don't mean to say it like that, but
No, coach.
it
Hey, we
doesn't
keep the
run.
real on here.
It doesn't run. The system doesn't run without them. You know what I mean? The teams would march on. We'd find somebody to coach them if you have the athletes. You know what I mean? Somewhere. So
that's why they hate Coach Prime so much.
Well, I think that's about all we need to talk about on the show. Coach Steve covered it all. Man, it's been
Nah, you definitely bodied that. You definitely bodied. I mean, that's the truth. I mean,
we don't have to beat around the bush. It is what it is. I'm not a guy that lives.
is.
I'm not a guy that lives in illusions and in ideals and things like that. You know what I mean? For me, I'm a real facts kind of guy. You know what I mean? I look at it like everything like a math equation. If it's 2 and 2, that's 4. You know what I mean? Like we can sit here and pretend it's not all we want.
Yeah, it ain't 22.
But it's 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
They is teaching these kids new math now, though.
It's just refreshing that we didn't have to say it.
Yeah.
We know what it is. I mean,
but that's in my opinion, that's what it takes. That's why I say things like that, because it takes people like me, people that are not African American, but that are not afraid to say, hey man, it's not right. You know what I mean? Like you can't sit here and tell me that's not the situation. This is 2 plus 2. It equals the same thing every time, man. You know what I mean? So I mean, in my opinion, that's what it is. The good thing is, though, I think a lot of the older generations, the good old boys and things like that in sports are being they're just aging out. You know what I mean? It's a different generation of people. As the world goes, you know what I mean? Every generation is a little bit more, you know, forward thinking on those type of things. So that's a good thing, And like Coach Prime, like you said, that's a point I'll go back to something we said earlier. What I did enjoy about it in the beginning of last season is when you saw everybody with the Colorado stuff on, because it was good to see somebody like Coach Prime go in and have success when he said he was going to have success, and when everybody said he wasn't going to have success, and the establishment and the established coaches and everybody had something to say about it. I know he came back to reality about Game 4, but it was a good 3-game run that I really enjoyed it for him.
Sure enough.
yeah, I mean, y'all know they hate Coach Prime, man. They hate Coach Prime. It's 35.
Well, they hate Coach Prime too because of what NIL has done. Is that other schools have opportunities to get big name players, so they know that with his personality and everything that he is, that because it almost becomes like a popularity contest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What coach do I want to play for? Which coaches? What's going to make my brand? I mean, what's the kid's name? Hunter. Him going to Colorado State in that 3-game run, along with his skill set, has made him explode. You know what I mean? So you got to look at it that way. And they know with his personality and his social media and everything, because he's adapted with the world as it's grown, that he's the best. He's the best option. You know what I mean? Eyes that would have never been on Colorado State were on Colorado State last year. I'm sorry, Colorado.
It's funny that you say that, Coach Steve, because I think another piece that gets Coach Prime a lot of hate is he's embraced this new style of recruiting when it comes to these college athletes in 2024 is through social media and relating to them. I think that's the real reason why Saban really retired is he can't relate because he's old.
Well, see that's a throwback.
No.
That's a throwback to what I was saying earlier. He's a prime example evolving with the game. If
Mhm.
as a coach you feel like this is football and it has to be this way and this is where it's going to be forever, dog, you're not going to be around for very long. You know what I mean? Social media is here. It's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? You either embrace it. It's like people that I don't use computers. We've been using calculators for 100 years. Like, okay, well, you're not going to be an accountant for very long, brother. You better head on. You know what I mean? Like, you got to roll and use the new tools that come along. And Prime is a prime example of doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Nick Saban still got an abacus, so he was,
Yeah.
Nick
he
Saban
don't-
said,
Well,
"What?"
Nick Saban, see, listen, and this is controversial too. I'm not a big fan of Nick Saban. I think Nick Saban has exploited this system that we just talked about for a long time with Alabama and the athletes. You know what I mean?
That's what I was about to say. I was about to say. Nick Saban said,
Listen. Show me where Nick Saban was successful other than Alabama with the alumni on his back. Where else was Nick Saban successful?
Hey, hey, me and my partner had this conversation. Can Nick Saban really coach? If he
I
ain't
don't
got
know.
4 or 5 stars, I don't know if he can really coach.
So, and that's the thing.
Let me pull one up for you, Coach Steve. Go ahead one time for me one time.
But not even 5-star athletes. When you talk about Alabama, you talk about 5-star athletes, 3 athletes deep at every position.
Every position.
You know what I mean? You got Tua Tagovailoa that comes into a national championship game in the third quarter. You know what I mean? You got a quarterback that you can put in the national championship game behind your starting quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, but he's taking advantage. Saban is taking advantage and built his wealth on I think an illusion. I've never personally thought he was a great coach, but that's just me.
He's
Nick
always
said,
had
"We
the
got to
best
pay them. We got to pay the players legally now. Oh hell no, I'm out of here."
And that's why he's gone. He doesn't have that. I feel like that's why he retired, because he doesn't have that leverage anymore. They can get their own money. Nowadays, kids are getting their own money. It's not being handed to them.
He said, "Wait a minute, I ain't got to hide that I got him a charger. Wait.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I got him a Hellcat."
Hellcats all across Alabama. Chargers and Hellcats all on the field.
See, I think we're showing our age, man. They're out there trying to get Lamborghinis and Cybertrucks and stuff. These, purple Lamborghinis and whatnot. I just
Yeah,
saw
these-
said George Sanders.
Hey,
Said
that's
George Sanders got that.
Cybertruck. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
thing ugly
why
as hell, bro.
I'm scared about the NIL. It needs to be a little bit more control because these kids are spending money like it's nothing.
Well, but also remember
need them to know.
the NIL is in its infancy. So that's
Yeah.
my take on this. Let's get rid of the NCAA and let's get a governing body of the NIL. Not a governing body in the sense that it divvies out money and anything like that, but a governing body that says, okay, we're going to take a percentage of the NIL, almost like a union. So
Yes.
we're going to take a percentage and we're going to distribute this money over financial literacy classes. And ultimately it comes down to the players to take advantage of it. But if the tools are there for them to do these things, but I think the internet helps with that a lot too, because you can get a lot more financial literacy nowadays. When you were coming out, when you didn't, you deposit your money in the bank, but you had to like literally call in to get your balance and stuff. You know what I mean? That type of thing. I feel like
or
it's a
balance
lot more
checkbook,
information.
or balance
Yeah,
I
a
don't
checkbook.
know, man.
Come
I be
on,
seeing
hey,
that.
these kids have no idea what a checkbook
I'm about to
is.
say, I be seeing a lot of, like, I seen a kid that I know he on the practice squad and he got a damn Cartier watch. Like, hold on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like this is ridiculous. Like, that's what I mean. Like, we got it's up to us as well as the people that know to educate these kids on that as well. If we know a kid that might have that opportunity to get an NIL, let them know, you know what I'm saying? If you care, and this is just to anybody out there, if you care about them, let them know, like, hey, bro, you getting the money. Cool. You're young. I was young. I blew money too. But there's going to be a rainy day someday. You might not make it to the league. You're going to get this bread now in college, and you might get your job when you get out of college that might make you $200,000 a year. Cool. This chunk of money that you got right now might be the only time you're going to get this type of chunk of money in your life. So try.
Well, see, that's why coaching in the youth
It's
ranks
great. Yes.
what's so important to me, because I feel like it starts, man, not just with the financial literacy, but with the accountability and the different things. Man, listen, I really use football and coaching to teach these young men and women how to move on to the next level, not just in sports, but in life. I mean, it's ways you can act, it's things you can do, it's ways you can talk. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to have two different I don't know if you call it personalities, but every to kid yourself, everybody has. When you get on the Zoom call with your boss, you talk a little bit different than how we would shoot the shit right here. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. You got to teach them accountability. You got to teach them how to act, when to act, and what to do. Like one of my biggest things, I tell these guys, like when we go on recruiting visits, I don't do the pajama pants and slides. You're gonna put some khakis on. You can put a collar shirt on. We're gonna present ourselves. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a 5-star and you got all this, whatever, you're Archie Manning or you're say George Sanders, whatever it is, that's one thing. But most guys are not. I'm like, don't cut your nose off to spite your face. You show up like you don't care. They're like, okay. You know what I mean? But it starts in the youth ranks teaching them these things. You know what I'm saying? And that's why for me it's huge to be involved with the youth, to be able to try to drop these gems on them, give them $1 million worth of game every once in a while. You know what I mean? And try to get them ready for what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Facts.
I agree. I agree. So, fellas, real quick, has anybody been watching NHL playoffs?
Oh, I watch hockey, man. I love some hockey, dog.
So, since you're the only one that spoke up, give us a little brief. Give us a little briefing. Let us know what's going on, so I can get caught up to see.
Well,
The Capitals still there.
No, Capitals is gone.
Damn.
Yeah, the Rangers took care of business and they beat them up bad. So Ovechkin is gone. Sidney Crosby and the Penguins, if it makes you feel better, Sidney Crosby and the Penguins didn't even make it to the playoffs. So that helps you out right there. The Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars are kind of going back and forth. You're looking at the Colorado Avalanche been doing their thing. So some of your typical standard teams that are some of the better teams in the NHL, they've already advanced and whatnot. So we had a couple of overtime and double overtime games a couple of days ago. So I've been keeping up with it. So I mean, I don't know about y'all, but there's sometimes I watch a little NHL playoffs games before I watch the NBA game. That's just me. So
Okay. Well,
yeah.
on that note, this is the end of our show. That was ludicrous to say, but hey, man, whatever floats your boat till you find your lost remote. I am your host, Mike T. This week. Hey, Jae Jones, tell them where they can find you at, brother.
Hey man, Jae Jones on X, IG, Facebook, Threads, everywhere, man. Y'all know where I am. Jae Jones, D-Man Cave Sports Group on Facebook. Holla at us, you dig?
Yes, sir.
Coach, before we do this, I gotta ask y'all, because this is the biggest thing that I'm a huge boxing fan. What do y'all think about this Ryan Garcia news with the Haney thing? I didn't mean to. That was one thing I wanted to ask you guys about.
Sure. Who was King Mel?
Yep, about Ryan Garcia. Hey,
Yeah.
wasn't last week we was just talking about how my man was all drugged out?
Yes.
Wasn't we just talking about it? He played the great Joker. Ain't that what you said, Mike T?
Yep.
So
He was actually on something.
hey,
Could you see it though? Because my son and I were talking about that. I saw it after I watched the Tank fight, and then I watched that fight, and it was not the same guy. We said that night. I was like, wow, the power, man. Because Haney's not a joke, man. I'd have put Haney in there with Tank before I'd have put him in there with Garcia. And after watching that fight, I'm like, dang, I don't know.
But to Coach Drip's point, Coach Drip made a point last week on the show that his pre-fight antics, and he was like, "You gotta go watch it." I went back and watched it. I thank you for bringing it up, and you was 100% right. Holmes was on something, and then now we know he was on something. You know what I mean?
So, So why do y'all think it took so long for the drug test to come out, though?
Because they wanted that money for that fight.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's it.
That's boxing. That's it.
They saw him tripping.
That's true.
Oh, hell yeah, we about to make a bunch of money.
They'd have let Devin Haney get his head bashed in to get that money, and then talked about it after that. But that's a whole nother subject. We already talked about the NCAA. I won't even get into boxing on that. I just wanted to get your opinion on that specific situation.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him cheating. Right now, he's done. When some troops come out, I'll comment more on it. But the way he was acting, he was on something. I don't know what it was, Even when he went at the Coach Prime concert this weekend at the Colorado joint, he was tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That man was bugging, dog.
You know, he might be on that Balco and that Columbia Bam Bam.
Yeah.
The mixer
Hey,
got him tripping. Jae Jones, one more time your socials, man.
Hey, Jae Jones on all 5 social media platforms. Holla at your boy. The Man Cave Sports Group on Facebook, man. Holla at me on there as well, man.
Yes. Hybrid. Where can they find
I
you?
know on Instagram at eproc_the hybrid, on Twitter and TikTok at eproc hybrid, and on all major music platforms, eproc_the hybrid, and DMV area, y'all know, follow the band at TOB Band and Show. And my new album's still out. Go get that. 4/23/24. 7 songs, 20 minutes of your life.
King Mel.
King Mel on Twitter as King Mel Stacks. On IG, I wish I was in first place in my GM. And on Facebook, Jamal Scroggins.
Okay.
What's up?
Wildcard Mar.
Hey man, go on over to the Twitter, KC Wildcard Mar, man. That's why I be posting all my stuff where you can find me. IOW Sports Network, 613 Faye Productions, man. You know what it is.
Hey, Coach Steve, tell them where they can find you at, man.
Man, you can find Coach Steve on Instagram at Coach Steve_the illest. I'm just on Instagram. I'm not a big social media guy, so that's where you can find me dancing and whatever else. And hopefully soon, I'll be doing a lot more stuff, when it comes to podcasts and things like that. So yeah, that's where you can find me, man. Check me out.
Oh no, Wildcard Mar about to hit you. We about to sign you. Don't worry. You can find me, Mike T, on Twitter, Mike T304, Coach Drip 304 on Instagram, Michael Turner on Facebook, and also like Jay just said, the Man Cave Sports Group, Four Corners each and every Saturday afternoon, in the Four Corners of Wrestling each and every Saturday afternoon. Sundays we got my main man King Mel with his top 5 wrestling moments of the week, and Mondays. Also with the Four Corner Boys, we got the My GM League. It's heating up. Jay Will is still in last place, you guys. That's a spoiler. To let y'all know, we've recorded every episode so far, and every episode that we've recorded, Jay Will has been in last place. I try to give him tips and pause, and he does not want to listen to anything that I say to him. And it's like, bro, you should be listening. Bama be trying to trade. Bama be trying to trade with him. He be like, nah, I don't want to trade with you. It's like, bro, you're in 4th place. But it's a great show. Yeah, you catch me and Coach Steve somewhere doing something this fall, probably.
No doubt.
And I'm gonna be we're gonna do the Spider-Man pose. We both gonna have on an Iverson jersey. But yeah, each and every Saturday, y'all can catch us here. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button on this YouTube page and any other podcast place you find us. Hey, Jae Jones, tell them what they can do, player.
Hey, we finna shut the door on y'all asses. Y'all know what it is.